Okay, so in this video, we're going to get a little more sophisticated with our functions. I'd like to mimic, we've all seen this type of name tag, all right? So I want to do a function that is going to produce the output that looks like this name tag, more or less. So I've already put a basic function in here, and using the keyword def for define, I'm calling my function print name tag. And then I have the hard-coded text here, and I've hard-coded my own name in there. So I'll run that. Okay, so that looks kind of like the name tag that we saw in the picture. Okay, again, don't forget to call your function after you've defined it. Now here's the problem. What if this were a real program and we were asked to do this for like a big conference or something, and we had to print name tags for hundreds if not thousands of people? It does not make sense to hard code any one name into your function, right? We want it to work for anybody who shows up to the convention. So what I'm going to do is add what we call a parameter. This is going to be a parameterized function. Okay. Now, we talked about these parentheses in the last video. This is where you put your parameters. So I'm going to put a name parameter. A parameter is just a variable. It's a variable that belongs to the function, okay, special to the function, but it really is just a variable. So I'm going to put in a name parameter, a variable to hold the person's name. Okay, and then instead of hard coding my name, I'm going to use a placeholder. Notice I have an F string here. I'm going to use a placeholder, and then I'm going to drop the name parameter into that placeholder. Okay, so now when I call my function, I'm going to have to pass a person's name to that function. Okay, so hey, watch this. When I try to run this, I'm getting an error. Okay, I have parameterized this function, and when you parameterize a function, you're saying, okay, this function needs a piece of information to do its job. In this case, it needs the person's name. And so when you call that function, you better pass the function what the function needs to do its job. And I'm not doing that here. I'm saying he needs a name to do his job, and then I'm trying to call him and not passing him anything. So it's almost like going up to the vending machine and trying to, buy a snack and not putting any money in and not putting the code in. That's what I'm doing here, basically. So I can pass my name. And it works just fine. And then I can pass a different name. And it works just fine. Okay, so I've made my function a lot more generic, and it's going to work for anybody who shows up. So you know what, let's expand this and take it a step further. Often when you have these name tags, you have, and if it's like a business conference, you'll have the person's name and then their company underneath. So let's do that. Let's add a second parameter for the company. All right, and I think I can just throw in a new line here. I'm going to drop in another placeholder. I'm going to put the company in there. Okay, and so for the function call, now once again, if I run this right now, again, look at the error here. It says missing one required positional argument. That's another term. It's probably not the first time you've heard me say the word argument. Arguments are values passed into parameters. Let me add, okay, so we know Abe Lincoln works for the U.S. government. Okay. So we have two parameters, name and company. These are the two arguments that I am passing into those parameters. So the parameters are the variables. The arguments are the values that you are assigning to those variables. Okay. So when I call this function, Abe Lincoln is going to land in this name parameter, and then U.S. government is going to land in the company parameter. And it works, okay? And if we were to change this, let me go back to me. I'll just put MVCC. And it's working fine, okay? You know, we can take it a step further even and add a company logo. Let's say we're wanting to print company logos as well. So I will add another placeholder here. I'm going to drop the logo in. So now I've got 3 parameters for my function. Once again, I need to satisfy those 3 parameters by the values I'm passing or the arguments I'm passing. And I have a logo. I think this is probably the cyclone for the Moraine Valley cyclones. Let's see. I can't see. I can't see. It looks like a little purple thing. I don't know what it is, but it's an emoji nonetheless. So yeah, that is a parameterized function.